Oh, it is behind enemy lines week 2, and we've got the Minnesota Vikings. Most of you that have been here the whole time will recognize the gentleman next to me. I had to bring him back. I felt like it was only right because his Vikings beat our 49ers last year. So I want our sweet revenge, and I think we're going to get it this time. Maybe. We'll see. We got to learn everything there is to learn about the Vikings. How good are they? Where did they improve? Where are they worse? Where are they vulnerable? And how can the 49ers take advantage of all those things? We'll talk about that plus more, and we'll do it all next. All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And my guest this week for Behind Enemy Lines is none other than One Bar himself. How you doing, my man?
I am doing good, man. I'm glad to be back. It was fun last year. This is one of my favorite ones to come on. I mean, last year we shocked the world. We had no right beating you guys, and we did. And now we get to do it all over again. So I'm looking forward to chopping up, talking Niners Vikings, baby.
Man, I got to tell you, I was feeling confident last year. If you remember, the 49ers had started out undefeated. They lost to Cleveland. It was like, there's no way the 49ers are going to lose to the Vikings, back-to-back losses after running off, 5, 6 in a row, whatever it was. And Justin Jefferson had just gone out. It's like, it's just not going to happen. And then Kirk Cousins had the game of his life. He was absolutely incredible, man. And you could just see Shanahan on the sideline just falling in love all over again with Kirk Cousins. It was disgusting, absolutely disgusting, but y'all got the win. It was a great game. And we're back, man. We're back here, ready to discuss this year. We'll see how it goes. But I do have some questions for you because there's been a lot of changes, and we'll get into those in a minute. But what are the expectations from Vikings fans this year? Because last year, at that time, you guys needed a win to stay alive in the playoffs. And then you won a couple more. You were starting to head towards that way. And then Kirk Cousins went down, and that was essentially it. Now you've done it, got a revamped team. You went and got your rookie quarterback. Unfortunately, he's out for the year. You had a player. I'm an Oregon fan. And so you draft a corner out of Oregon, Kyrie Jackson. He tragically passes away. It's been a rough season before it even got started. So where are Minnesota fans at? What are the expectations from this fan base for this team in 2024?
Yeah, it's been a rough go, no doubt about it. And it's funny because last year when we played you guys, it was basically like, nobody's expecting us to win. We shouldn't win. But if we do win, this could be the turning point in the season. It's like we just beat the 49ers, one of the best teams in the league, and we can turn it around. And sure enough, we beat you. And then Kirk Cousins goes down, and we watched the Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs. We all saw that show last year. So, but this year is a completely different ball game. We're going to dive into this thing, I know. But as far as expectations, it's funny, like media, national media, the Vikings are looked at as like a 5-6 win team by the media. And that's fair. Like, I'm not going to come on here and argue and say that, because until they prove otherwise, and they may prove it or they may not prove it, that's what they kind of should be. As far as Vikings fans, we're drinking a little bit of the purple Kool-Aid, so we beef that number up a little bit. But everybody's pretty realistic. It's usually in the 8 and 9. If stuff really goes right, maybe we're 9 and 8. But I will say this, like, we'll be the underdogs. Like, right now, the Vikings team isn't built to really make a push. What we're built to is we're setting ourselves up for 2026. Next year, maybe make a little bit of a step forward when JJ McCarthy comes back. So anything really we do above expectations for me is just a cherry on top, because we got to be realistic. Unless Sam Darnold all of a sudden, you guys know Sam Darnold very well. If all of a sudden he just starts lighting up, but our defense is one reason, and we're going to talk about it, but our defense is one reason that we're going to win games we shouldn't win. We're going to beat teams that we should not beat this year, and it's because of our defense.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let's talk about whether the Vikings are better or worse from last year's team, and we can talk about all those changes because that is where most of the changes have come. I know Kirk Cousins, obviously, you also you go get a new running back and all those things, but the defense, there's a lot of upgrades on that defense. Now you lost your best pass rusher in Daniil Hunter, but you kind of replaced him with two guys. Then you go out and you upgrade the corner position significantly, and now you've got all that paired with Flores. So where are they better? Where are they worse? And ultimately, like, what are the biggest changes with this roster?
So biggest changes. I got to start with the obvious, and that's Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold, I think he would have been the starter anyways with JJ McCarthy. Obviously, he would have had a short leash. McCarthy in his one preseason game looked absolutely beautiful, which makes it even harder to swallow the fact that he's out, but gives us some hope in the future. So Sam Darnold is a big change, but Sam Darnold, like, it's weird because we're used to Kirk Cousins wearing the cement blocks on his feet. Granted, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He looked like butt week one with the Falcons, but with the Vikings, he was a very good quarterback, but you knew what you were going to get from him. Sam Darnold in week one against a crappy Giants team, granted, like, he felt that pressure. The pocket was collapsing. He was moving around. He's making plays with his legs. He was throwing that thing. He was throwing he's throwing beautiful dimes to Justin Jefferson and a couple other guys. So we'll see how that one plays out. But I got to talk defense. So the where we got better is defense. We have 6 new starters on a defense that finished top 10 last year at the home.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Look at the roster we had. Yes, we had Daniil Hunter. It wasn't great. So, like, Brian Flores has a little magic wand. I mean, the dude deserves to be a head coach. I hope he is a head coach someday. I hope it's a couple years down the road because he's doing wonders with these guys. But defensively, I mean, you mentioned Stephon Gilmore. We'll see. He's not the Gilmore of 2019, 2018, but he's still an upgrade. But like the 6 new starters, like, we lose Hunter, but we bring in a Jonathan Grenard. We bring in a Andrew Van Ginkel, who played his butt off in week 1, absolutely lit it up. And then we draft Dallas Turner. So edge rushers, as painful as it is to say, we got a lot better, even losing Daniil Hunter. Because
crazy to say that, but yeah, I agree.
It's crazy because they'll have them on the field at the same time. Like, opposing offenses are like, we don't know what the hell to do with these guys because they're just flying all over the place. And Flores just basically points to the quarterback and just says, one of you guys go get them. And Patrick Jones, guy I got to mention too, 2 sacks last week. Patrick Jones is a guy that probably half the league probably don't even know who the hell he is. But Patrick Jones, again, an edge rusher. So where we got better is definitely edge. Defensive line is still a little bit suspect. Cornerbacks, yeah, we're better. Safety room is pretty much the same, but it all is in the middle of that defense. It's all in the middle of the defense. And Andrew Van Ginkel, 49ers fans, when you guys watch him, you're going to become a fan of him. He looks like a Viking.
He's good.
He's like,
he's good. He does.
He was meant to wear a Vikings uniform. So it's wonderful.
What about the offensive line is pretty good in Minnesota, at least from outside looking in. I feel like there's some good players over there. Is there any major changes over there? Are you guys pretty much the same as last year?
Pretty much the same as last year. I love the comments. It's funny whenever I do the lives, my accent is like everybody lights it up.
Super
I love
thing.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Bring it on, especially when I say about. I'm pretty much the Fargo movie. My co-host is the same way, so it's pretty damn fun. But offensive line is pretty much the same. So we got Darisaw and Brian O'Neill, who I'll pound the table for as one of the best tandems in the league. Darisaw shut down Brian Burns last week. Giants suck, but Brian Burns does not suck. And Brian Burns was nowhere to be found. He nothing. I think he had 3 tackles. I don't know if he had a pressure. But the outside of our offensive line, very, very good. Interior, suspect. It has been suspect for the last 3-4 years. Blake Brandel is a guy at the left guard that they said, screw it, we're just going to put him out there this year. He's never even played left guard. And in week 1, I mean, he had Dexter Lawrence up in his face. He played pretty damn good. So offensive line-wise, it's fine. I'm trying to think I think you asked where we got worse. And I guess I would just have to say quarterback until proven otherwise with Darnold. But I do got to mention, I can't believe I didn't mention him, Aaron Jones. Another
huge pickup.
So when we signed him, former Packer, the dude could have came out and rushed for negative 20 yards last week. He already did his job because he broke Packer Packer fans' hearts, just the fact that he's wearing purple. But he goes out there and lights it up, man. The dude got 95 yards, something like that, on 14 carries, and he looks spry. Packers didn't use
He's a
him
good
much.
player, man. He's a good player. His problem is like every year he misses a few games, but we saw him up close and personal in that divisional game, and I'm telling you what, man, he could have won that game for them. Really should have if they could have made the field goal. He's a hell of a player, and he's a handful. And then the system is perfect. It's the same system. He just comes over, plays for Minnesota. He's a really good player. Now you did mention Van Ginkel. And I do know that he showed up on the injury report. Is there any issue? I mean, is he going to play? Is that the expectation? Like, what's going on with him?
It sounds like he's gonna play. One of the Vikings insiders just tweeted out this afternoon that he doesn't see any reason why he's not gonna play.
Okay.
Which is huge. But one thing who popped on the injury list today was Harrison Smith with a hip, which nobody knows what's going on. So that is definitely one to watch. And Jordan Addison is going to be out, who was the man last year when we played you guys. He stepped up for Jefferson, lit it up. And really Brian O'Neill was on it too with an ankle. So again, nobody really knows. I would expect him to play. He better play, or it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you guys are already without your stud tight end as well. So that doesn't help. I get it. And the 49ers, are very deep, but definitely some injuries. Christian McCaffrey himself is out, and they started the season without Greenlaw and Hufanga. Hufanga might play. Maybe he might wait till week 3, week 4. We'll see how it plays out, but definitely some injuries of our own for sure. You mentioned a lot of players and obviously a lot of changes over there, but give me a player or two that's underrated that you think might make a difference in this game.
I mean, that's a tough one. It's our team is so different from last year, and we've only gotten 1 week against a Giants team. That is, man, you guys play the Giants this year?
No, I wish.
Yeah, everybody wishes. It's funny because
can we get the Giants and the Panthers, please?
we beat the Giants, and of course nobody cares. It's like, yeah, you should beat the Giants. So we don't get any love.
We get 0 street cred.
all the power rankings, basically, the Vikings are still like 24 or 23. No movement there. But as far as guys that maybe are underrated, I would say Josh Metellus. Josh Metellus is a guy that's probably not a big name that a ton of people know about. He's always under the radar. He on the depth chart, he's a safety. The dude plays everywhere in the defensive backfield. He plays up sometimes. He's all over the place, and he gets after it. I mean, Brian Flores, that is his Swiss Army knife. He's doing everything with Josh Metellus, so he's a pain in the butt. Last year, Cam Bynum picked off Purdy twice, and he's an underrated guy as well. But one guy to keep an eye on, if Addison's out, well, he will be out. Jalen Naylor, wide receiver 3. So he's had some injury issues. He's never really had a chance. Former 6th round, 7th round, I can't remember, a couple of years ago. So Jalen Naylor is going to be elevated to wide receiver 2, and that's a big ask. Big ask for a guy that hasn't done a ton. He scored a touchdown last week. But Jalen Naylor will be one to watch because obviously they're going to be focusing on Justin Jefferson. TJ Hawkinson's out. Hawkinson last year when we played you guys had 11 receptions. So that hurts. So I would say Naylor. I would say Metellus. And then I got to say Van Ginkel again. Van Ginkel, even when he was with the Dolphins, was just this underrated dude that didn't get any love, and he barely ever started.
I feel like we should have done like an over-under bet of how many times Van Ginkel's name would have been said in this show, because it is a fun name to say for sure. And he's actually a really good player. I watched him a lot in Miami, and they had multiple pass rushers over there, and Van Ginkel just came out of nowhere, had a fantastic season. And he's just so steady. You can just count on him to be there week in and week out, playing his butt off. He's a good player. He really is. And I think the price that you got him for, Miami fans were kind of pissed. They're like, why couldn't we just bring this guy back? Like, that's a fair deal. So I think that's a huge pickup for y'all.
Yeah. It's through week 1. It's beautiful. The season is young. And one more guy, I'm gonna say his name again.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. So as far as a guy under the radar,
Love it. I love it.
I can't wait to see what he does against like one of the best teams in the league because he did what he should have against the Giants. Like he looked really good, but he should have looked really good. So we're gonna. I feel Vikings fans are gonna come back to reality very quickly this week, based off of the team he's going against, or Sam Darnold can begin his legacy by shocking the world and playing good against the Niners.
Man, I wish I could give a big underrated player back. I mean, Jordan Mason was my guy last week. He's not
Unreal.
underrated anymore. Everybody knows who he is now. But I'll throw this out there because our special teams has been a big question mark for a long time, it feels like. And last week they played really, really well across the board. I'll go Jacob Cowing. I don't know that he's going to get any offensive snaps, although I think he should. He's extremely explosive and can certainly be a deep threat. And I think that dynamic every once in a while is great to bring on the field, but he's a rookie. Al doesn't like to play rookies a ton, but as a punt returner, you just never know when a guy can break a big one and turn a game around or flip the field in the big position. And he has that ability to do so. He's very explosive. I think he's listed at like 5'8", 175. He doesn't look 175. He looks about 195. He's thick. So I don't know if he's gained weight since college or whatever, but he's explosive. A lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to him. Jacob Cowing, punt returner. Maybe he'll get some offensive snaps, but he's a guy that I would look out for this week as well.
I got to ask you on your interior offensive line.
Yeah. Can we not talk about it?
Well, so the Vikings defensive line, so this might be a good matchup. Maybe it'll be fun to watch because our defensive line, isn't great. It hasn't been great. We got Jerry Tillery, baby. Jerry Tillery, the former first-round bust, is a starter. And Jonathan Bullard, another former bust. And, I mean, Harrison Phillips is a very good player. But, did the Vikings stand a chance at getting after that interior offensive line?
Yeah, they do. So Dominic Pooney is our starting right guard. He was drafted in round 3. He wasn't supposed to come in and start, but Burford and Feliciano, both the guys that rotated last year, they were out with an injury. Feliciano is already on IR, and then Burford had broke his hand in training camp. So Pooney naturally just filled in. Well, he filled in and didn't look back. I mean, he's the best of the 3. He's a good player, although he's still a rookie. He's only played 1 game. Last week, he had a lot of really favorable matchups, I'll say. Still professionals, but it's like, Solomon Thomas. Like, all right, well, Solomon Thomas is pretty meh. So he's looked really, really good. And we have confidence in him. Now, our center, Jake Brendel, not so much. And he's the one that calls the protections. This is where it gets interesting. The way that Minnesota shows blitz, gives the simulated pressures. That can be an interesting dynamic because I don't know that Jake Brendel's the best at getting things lined up. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And as a blocker himself, he's not the best either. Now, our left guard, Aaron Banks, who's been regressing, it seems like, for 3 straight seasons, he might be out. And Spencer Burford, who was supposed to be our starting right guard, might be playing left guard. We'll see how that goes, who plays there. But either way, not ideal. I would say left guard, center, not the greatest. Right tackle, not the greatest. We have a ton of confidence in right guard. And obviously, Big Trent Williams is at left tackle, so we have a ton of confidence there.
Man, I remember I liked Aaron Banks way too much coming out of the draft. Notre Dame. I don't know why I liked him that much. I probably shouldn't have. But, yeah.
Notre Dame offensive linemen, man, are just so...
big and beefy Midwestern boys. So it sounds like our interior offensive line looks like we have a contest of who might be worse come Sunday. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it'll be a great one. Well, before we get to the next topic, let's hear from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Whether it's fantasy football or higher lowers, Underdog has got you covered. Link is in the description. Promo code LSS to get your deposit match 50% up to $1,000 and your 1 free pick. Underdog, make picks, win money. Shout out to Underdog for being a great sponsor. Appreciate you, Underdog. Always a great sponsor of the channel. Much love to you. All right, One Bar, let's get to this next topic because there's a lot of interesting matchups in this game. And I just talked about one, which was this defense and our offense. Now, a lot of confidence in the 49ers offense, but last year They were certainly stifled by a unit that doesn't have a lot of talent. Now, to be fair, last year the 49ers were without Trent Williams and they were without Deebo Samuel. This year they'll be without Christian McCaffrey, most likely, although he's trying to play. I hope that he doesn't. That aside, chances are he's out. But the defense is extremely well coached by Flores, very, very aggressive, and they've made a lot of upgrades, as you talked about earlier. That's a matchup I'm very curious to watch overall, your defense versus our offense, and in particular, our offensive line, and how do they match up with a heavy blitz package and simulated pressures. But what matchups are you looking forward to? Let's start this way. Give me one matchup that you're worried about going into this game for the Vikings, and then we'll go positive, and you can give me a matchup that you're confident in.
Yeah, I mean, I already said it. It's our interior offensive line going against your D line. Not only the fact that that you guys are going to get after it, you guys are going to eat in the middle. I feel confident with Darrisaw and O'Neal on the outside. They're going to take care of business there. But when you guys are bringing it up in the middle, we're going to be in trouble. Garrett Bradbury has always been an issue. You can push him around, no problem. So that's going to be the biggest issue, which continues on to the next issue because of that is Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold, what's he going to do under pressure? What's he going to do? What's he going to do when he's got guys in his face? Because last week, I mean, they were bringing the pressure, but he had time. So this is going to be, like I said earlier, this is going to be our first glimpse of Sam Darnold, maybe a little bit under pressure and how he's going to handle that. So that's a 2-for-1 right there. You guys are going to be bringing the pressure, and then what does Darnold do? So that's the biggest one, no doubt. 100%. That's the biggest issue. The other side of one other issue, quick, is our secondary. I mean, we got Gilmore. We got some other guys back there. Byron Murphy had a good game. Shaq Griffin. I mean, if this secondary was in 2019, we would have we would be loaded. We would win the Super Bowl. But the fact is, it's 5 years later. So we're gonna get tested. We don't know what to expect. We had Daniel Jones throwing the ball last week. That doesn't count. That doesn't matter. So they could have not even showed up, and they would have looked good. So this is going to be their first test, a very new unit, and they're going to get one hell of a test out there against your guys. So that's very scary.
That, it's interesting that you said that, because that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, gosh, damn, if this was like 2019, you know how good that secondary would be. Shaq Griffin's on the team. I didn't even know he was still in the NFL, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know that there's like the matchup that I'm most worried about. I also talked about, which is just really Jake Brendel and how he calls out the protections versus the heavy blitz team. But a matchup I'm curious about, and I was curious about it last week, and the 49ers did a great job of passing the test big time, which was how would they hold up against the run? Eric Armstead's no longer on this team. Dre Greenlaw's out up the middle. Hufanga was out. Now, Hufanga might play, but no matter what, Greenlaw's still out. We do still have new guys that are replacing Eric Armstead, who is one of the better run stuffers. And I know it looked good last week, but I also feel like last week they did the 49ers a lot of favors. They were trying to bounce it outside way too much. They were trying to get cute. They weren't just willing to run the rock up the middle. And we've seen Aaron Jones have a really, really good day very recently against the San Francisco 49ers. So can the 49ers do it again? Now, if the 49ers come in and hold Aaron Jones, I'll be completely sold on this run defense. No more questions, because it's like Breece Hall, then Aaron Jones, two completely different run schemes. I mean, there's nothing more than to buy into it. So not that I'm worried about the run defense, more curious about the run defense. I just double or nothing, right? You did it once. All right, cool. Double or nothing. Or give me the prove it. We're playing a game of pig. Let me see you prove that shot again to believe it. That's where I'm at with it. So
you're telling me when you're playing pig, you actually make them prove it, huh?
Oh, always. Yeah, of course.
Damn, old school. I like that. Hell yeah. I never.
All right, give me something. Yeah, dude, it's so much pressure. And it's always like the most ridiculous shot ever. It's like, prove it. Give me something you're confident in, man. I know there's got to be something you're feeling good about. Don't play coy with me, because last year you were just, shucks, we're just happy to be here at Kirk Cousins, and then you beat us. And the 49ers haven't been able to win in Minnesota in like 30 years. It's insane. So there's got to be something you're confident in. Give that to me.
I'm excited for Justin Jefferson. You guys didn't get to see him last year. You're going to
It's
see him
true.
this. You're going to see him this year, and you're going to see hopefully a ton of them. Jefferson, he's pretty quiet last week. I mean, he was like 4 for 55 and a score or whatever. That's nothing. That's usually the first quarter for Justin Jefferson. So I don't care what you guys do. Justin Jefferson is not going to want 54 yards or whatever it was. He wants 125. He wants 2 scores. So Jefferson's going to be getting after it. If Jordan Addison could light you guys up last year, Jefferson's he's gonna bring it. So Jefferson for sure. And then I'm gonna go back to my standard is the edge rushers. They're whoever it might be. I feel that this group every week somebody else is going to blow up. Like Patrick Jones had 2 sacks last week. Ginkle had 1. Turner had 1. Every week somebody's going to get that 2-3 sacks, and they're going to get after it. And this week, I think Dallas Turner is the rookie who I already just completely fills my heart how good this dude is. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get a couple sacks. And I love everything about that. And one under the radar guy that one matchup is Hawkinson. I mean, Hawkinson's a completely different beast. He had 11 receptions last year, but Johnny freaking Munt is kind of our next guy, and he's weirdly actually pretty good at catching the ball. He's good out there making routes. He makes some tough catches. So Johnny Munt is a guy to keep an eye on, and I like that matchup as well. But Aaron Jones, you already said it. That's number one, and you said it perfectly, is that he already tore you guys a new one last year. I mean, it was very recent. And our offensive line is better than the Packers. Granted, they got Jordan Love. They got a better quarterback and more to worry about. But Aaron Jones is such a breath of fresh air. And last year, we had Alexander Madison when we faced the 49ers. I don't think he had over 50 yards. I would be shocked if he had over 50 yards. So this is a whole nother wrinkle. And that's what I love about this game is last year we shouldn't have beat you guys. I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm glad we did. But our team's almost set up better this year to beat you guys, which will probably mean we'll get our ass kicked. So we'll see. But like it just works that way. So Aaron Jones, if he can't get it going, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. You're definitely gonna have to be able to control the ball in the run game, and I think Aaron Jones. I mean, we know Aaron Jones can do it because he just did it. He's got to do it on a new team. Some matchups I'm confident in. Definitely confident in the secondary versus everybody but Jefferson. Right, Jefferson's his own beast, but without Addison, I know Naylor's a good player, but he's the third guy. He should be the third guy, and then. Munt's also a good player, but Fred Warner is the best of the best. So I feel really good about those matchups without Hawkinson, without Addison in there. And then the run game again. I know that Mason had a come out party last week. We've been waiting for this for 3 years. We've been calling him Marshawn Lynch, reincarnated in a 49er uniform. And I think everybody saw that last week. I'm very confident that he'll be able to come out. Not expecting what he did last week necessarily, but I think he can get 100 and help this team out as well. So very confident in him. And one thing I'll say is, as bad as the offensive line can be in pass protection, they're very, very good in run blocking. And that's where the bread's buttered for San Francisco. They want to run the ball. Mason is a different kind of back, and he wears defenses down. So I'm looking forward to that matchup as well.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want me to play the aw shucks card, but like the Niners, I mean, I got to play the card a little bit. The Niners,
sure, this is good. I like it.
The Niners are, I mean, they're the team to beat. They're the team to beat until they're not the team to beat. So, like, when you look at the depth charts and you compare everything, 49ers pretty much wiped the floor with us as far as comparing position to position and how well they are. So like for the Vikings, if we were to come out and win this game again 2 years in a row, everyone would be like, what the hell just happened? Like that shouldn't have happened. And it shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
We'll see. I like the 49ers are absolutely loaded. I can't wait to see what happens down the stretch with the Niners, the Lions, or the Eagles going to be good, but the Niners are always going to be there. And it pisses me off. It doesn't matter who your running back is. The dude gets it, and your new guy, man, he's scaring the crap out of me. It doesn't even McCaffrey didn't do much last year when we played you guys. I think he had like 40-some yards.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I'm your running back scares me a little bit, Mason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, certainly, but it's any given Sunday, and we saw it happen multiple times last year. Keith Murphy, however, isn't buying it. He says beating the Giants is like beating someone's grandmother. That was an extra preseason game. It was kind of like an extra preseason game, but at the same time, I
You
feel
ain't wrong.
like I feel like good teams win the games they're supposed to. And the Vikings winning a game they were supposed to means they're probably pretty decent. They may not make the playoffs or anything like that, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like crazier things happen. And every year there's always a team. And with a defense like this, I'm kind of with you, one bar. There's going to be a lot of games where they are either right there and they shouldn't be, or they end up winning. You look at what the Patriots were able to do to the Bengals. I feel like Minnesota can do a lot of similar things to teams that they're just not supposed to hang with.
Yeah, I think it's fun. That game was our biggest win in, I think it was 4 or 5 years. It was so usually the Vikings will just lay down to the competition. So any other year, if we would have won, we would have beat them 14-13. It would have been 10-7. It would have been disgusting. It would have been painful to watch. And we went out there and just beat the hell out of them, and it was beautiful. I don't care if it was against Giants, man. Like if like that's why I say like the next couple of weeks after you guys, we got the Texans, we got the Packers, we got a rough road ahead. It's going to be brutal. So
Wow.
Vikings fans, myself included, after this week, I think we're going to see where we're at. Like if we go out there and just lose by like 25, 30 points. All right. Okay. Got it. But if it's a close game, if somehow we win or if it's close, like it's going to be interesting. Vikings fans, any Vikings fan who's saying they know what to expect is full of crap, because there's so many new faces on this team. We actually have a running back. We never ran the ball in the last couple of years with Kevin O'Connell. Now we have Aaron Jones. We're running the ball. Let's see what happens. So it's just a damn mystery.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold is the ultimate X factor, right? Like, is he as bad as what he's shown to be, or now is he in the right situation and matured and can at least manage a game? There's so many questions there, and those questions are going to get answered because you don't have the rookie quarterback to go to. McCarthy's not there. I mean, the thought was always, at least from the outside looking in, was like, okay, you're going to play Sam Darnold around the bye week, wherever that's at in the season, or as they start to get out of it for the playoffs, final 5 to 7 weeks, you throw in the rookie and you see what you got, right? And just give him something to build on. Well, now that's not even a possibility. So unless Sam just absolutely wets the bed, I mean, they're not going to Nick Mullins. We know
God,
what Nick
no.
Mullins is as well. So it's like Sam's going to get his chance. He's going to get his chance, whether he deserves it or not. He's going to get it. So we'll see exactly what he is this year.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And Sam Darnold, I don't know his personality yet. I know he's kind of a beaten dog, the teams he's been on and everything he's done. Last year was a perfect situation for him just to go hang out and be your backup. But he got the game ball last Sunday, and it's like he got that thing, and you can just tell he's like, hell yeah. Like he's just probably the happiest guy I ever seen a game ball, but he had the stone face on. It was something. And Sam Darnold is going to be the X factor, because you said it, you nailed it. There's nobody they're going to go to. We're not going to go to Nick Mullins to see if he's good or not. We know the answer to that. You guys know the answer to that.
Yeah, we do.
McCarthy ain't there. McCarthy's going to be the guy next year. Everybody, the easy cliche thing to say is just, hey, maybe this will be the Baker Mayfield type of season. That's a big ask. That's a big, big ask. But if Sam Darnold, if he doesn't do it here, he's never going to do it. If you got Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson will be back week 5, whatever. You got Aaron Jones, you got a good offensive line. If he doesn't do it here, dude, just hang around in the next 10 years, be a backup, make some money, but it's over. The party's over.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting a chance that most players don't, a bit of a resurgence, and he's got to take advantage of it. And this is it. Give me a bold prediction. I'll actually start here because we're already talking about Sam Darnold, so I'm gonna stick with that route. Sam Darnold's a fine gentleman. I know his teammates love him. I mean, shoot, he was at Christian McCaffrey's wedding, and he's actually, I've heard him on podcasts. I actually do enjoy him as a person. I just don't buy that he's a good football player, and so I'm gonna go with this. A bold prediction. Maybe it'll surprise your fan base. Maybe it won't. But a bold prediction I have is however many touchdowns Sam Darnold accounts for, he'll have double the amount of turnovers. So if he has 2 touchdowns, he'll have 4 turnovers. If he has 1 touchdown, he'll have 2 turnovers. That's my bold prediction this week.
Wow. You know what's funny is anytime you say he's a fine gentleman to start it, you just know like this dude sucks at football.
It's coming.
If he's a fine gentleman, dude can't play football worth crap. That was the nicest dig I've ever heard in my life. I love Sam Darnold, man. He's a ginger just like me. We got that connection. So I'm rooting for this guy more than anybody
for sure.
In northern Minnesota with my overly ginger skin. So here it's funny he went with the Sam Darnold bold prediction. Because my bold prediction, remember the keywords bold here. The keywords
for
bold.
Sure. I love this. Yes.
Not just like, hey, we're gonna have a couple field goals. Sam Darnold's gonna outplay Brock Purdy. That's my bold prediction.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's a bold prediction.
Oh, yeah,
that's a bold prediction. That's
bold. Great. Last year, Brock Purdy, you know, I know he had a couple. He had a rough game down the stretch, but the Vikings game was actually one of his worst games. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a score. He had 2 interceptions. Cam Bynum made him his daddy a couple times, which is beautiful. But I think Brock Purdy is going to be in a little bit of duress this week. I think he's going to have guys up in his face. That's why we can't let you guys get the running game going. But yeah, Sam Darnold's going to outplay Brock Purdy. You can clip that and play it on Monday morning after Brock Purdy throws for 5 scores and 400 yards.
No, I won't do it to you. I hate when things are taken out of context, man. It's like when somebody reads an article, they just give you a clip and it's like, okay, well, if you would have read the sentence before it and the sentence after it, you would have understood what was trying to be said here. But that definitely is out of context. I'm not going to do that to you, man, because it is supposed to be a bold prediction, and you absolutely gave one. That's great. That's great. I love it. Okay, man. Listen, we've had a lot of conversation back and forth. You've really given us some good insight into the Minnesota Vikings. And last year, if I'm not mistaken, I think you might have predicted the 49ers to win, which meant you were very pleasantly surprised also that the Vikings won. I'm curious to know what direction you're going to go here. Are you confident because you got the win last year when you shouldn't have? Or are you like, shucks, man, we're just happy to be here? What's the score prediction for this week?
All right, I'm gonna. So just to start it off, I'm never scared to pick that the Vikings are going to lose. I'm never like our viewers will just lay into me when I pick the Vikings to lose. It doesn't matter how bad we are, who we're playing. So I'm not scared to do that. And I'm going to fully admit that the 49ers should be a team that goes to or competing to be in the Super Bowl. You're stacked, you're loaded, 100%. Very good team. But that said, Vikings, coming off that Giants win. I mean, not many teams are going to beat the New York Giants in New York. So,
yeah, true. Good point, man. Yeah.
Silly, everybody. So confidence is extremely high. But here's the weird part. I already said it. The Vikings are a better team this year than they were last year. And I know you got Trent Williams this time around. You got Debo, and that's some big additions. But we also have Justin Jefferson. The big number is the fact the Vikings haven't lost to the 49ers in like last 7 or 8 in Minnesota. It's been, like you said, 30 years or something like that. I can't go against them. I can't try to break the streak in Minnesota and be that guy. So this is 100% coming from my heart and not my head. If I was going with my head, I'm picking the Niners. But if you guys go wipe the floor with us, I'll be like, all right, that makes sense. You guys probably should have. But I'm going out of my box here. I'm going with my heart, and I'm going to say they're going to keep the streak alive and make it 8 or 9 games, whatever it is, and continue the streak. And I say 32 years. There we go. I'm going to say the Vikings win 24-22, and we get Brock Purdy at least 6 sacks. We make him just look silly, but your boy's going to get some yards on the ground. But we get the dub. I'm going to be popping bubbly. It's going to be beautiful. We might only win 4 games all year, but we're winning this one.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. How old are you, One Bar?
What do you think I am? I want you to guess.
Like, I was going to say 30.
Oh, Jesus. I think you're just being, I know you're playing the shucks card.
No, I'm being serious.
I am 44.
Shut up, dude. Get out of here.
Gingers age weirdly, man. It's weird. We don't look old. I can't help it. We don't get gray hair. It just stays red.
I was going to say, like, you're probably your whole lifetime, you you've been a winner against the 49ers in Minnesota. Like, how great is that? But that's not true. That's completely made up. Wow, man. Geez, you age like fine wine. That's impressive, man. You're okay. All right. Good
I'll
luck.
take it. I'll take 30.
God,
Yeah,
it's got good skin.
I remember it was funny because I started watching the Vikings Die Hard in the early 90s. And of course, that's when the Niners were, well, it really was early 90s when you, obviously,
Yeah.
you know it. But the Niners were the team. They were the Patriots of that era. And as a kid, I'm just like, God, I hate these guys, but they're so damn good. They're so damn good.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, this is my first time actually like thinking about this game score wise. You know, it's weird. It's my show. You'd think I'd come prepared with the score, but I'm kind of just going to go off the hip here. I'm going to go. I do think I do respect. I do respect the defense of Minnesota, and I don't know if you know this, but Nick Bosa said that he believes the Minnesota Vikings are better than the Jets.
I did see that. It was hilarious.
I know in hindsight, like, oh, you know, of course, they just beat the brakes off of them and the Vikings won. But roster for roster, the Jets are supremely talented. But that means, and this isn't just football talk, Nick Bosa is very straightforward. He gives the best sound clips every week. He'll tell you if he thinks that last year, the sound clip he had when they were playing the Eagles was like, oh, yeah, no, we just, as long as Jalen Hurts has to throw the ball, like we feel pretty good about that. He's not afraid to say whatever he thinks. So if he said it, he actually means it. So I also respect the Vikings, and I think right now they are so much better coached than the Jets are. I agree with him, and I respect the hell out of the coaching staff there. I respect the hell out of that defense. I think the 49ers offense may not have the field day that they had last week with the 8 straight scores and what have you. I do think they'll put up their points, though. So I'm going to go 27 to 17, just because in order for my prediction of Sam Darnold with the double the turnovers, that's going to have to come from somewhere. So I'll go 24-17.
Hey,
or 27-17.
Hey, I'm taking that. I'm taking that score, man. We're seeing a lot worse predictions on our channel, so I'll take that.
Perfect. Listen, I want everybody to go subscribe to One Bar's channel, man. He just crossed, what, 16,000? Am I right about that?
No, I wish. We're at almost 12,500.
12,000? Okay, listen.
We're getting close.
I was a little off there. But 12,500. Let's help them get to 13,000. We can do that as a Niner fan base. Link is in the description. Go show them some love. And again, like I always say, if nothing else, you can go troll him a little bit. I'm actually going to be going to his channel next. We're going to do a little bit over there, so you can check that out. And then in about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on when Grant gets home, we'll be doing 4-man front right here with myself, Coach, Ryan, and Grant. More 49er talk will be coming your way, so make sure that you stay tapped in here. Keith Murphy says, I like Minnesota's coach. And I think that the future is bright. Yeah, I think so too. There's no chance that Connell's going to get fired, right? Like, there's zero chance of that.
No,
he's good.
Yeah. So, so we got a ton of money. Like, they're setting up for 25, 26. We got a ton of money next year to spend in free agency. McCarthy, we got our boys locked up. Jefferson, Darius, we got some very big pieces locked up with a quarterback on a rookie contract, which in Minnesota we're not used to. You guys know what's going on. It's a beautiful thing. You got money to spend. So no, McCarthy is safe. Kwesi, on the other hand, we'll see. His draft picks are garbage.
Okay, all right. Brother Bob says at least he admitted that it wasn't with his brain. Equals a dumb take. All right, fair enough. And then he says Bosa will feast on Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. He's an idiot. 34-17. Minnesota sucks. All right, Brother Bob. Always trolling the way you do. You can come troll his channel. Link is in the description. We'll be over there next. One Bar, thank you so much for joining me again. Good luck to your Vikings, but not too much good luck. We'll talk soon, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. Always a blast.
Much love you.